I mean, where's this heat wave? Where on earth is this heat wave? They keep going on about this heat wave that is going to be, disastrous to all of Europe. Not here in Lincolnshire, dear. Another day of grey and dreariness, dear. Grey and dreariness. It's almost like watching an episode of Love Island. It really is grey and dreary and uninteresting. A very good morning to you. It's Wednesday, the 26th of June 2019. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom Talk, coming to you from the Chapel Hill Marina here in Lincolnshire. I'm just sorry, it was a bit of a whistle as it was. Did you notice that? Every time I took a breath in then I was whistling. I sounded like that death noise, doesn't it? You know when you're about to die, apparently there's a strange noise that comes out your mouth. Yeah, I shall be talking right up to the point of death, believe me. Talking and talking and talking. It was a bit of a whistle then. I've noticed my asthma isn't particularly good at the moment. I keep grabbing this at the moment. Is anyone else having a little bit of a problem with the old asthma? Watching the delightful, beautiful, favourite weather forecaster of all time, Miss Carole Kirkwood, this morning, who was explaining to us that the pollen levels are quite high at the moment. So I don't know if that's affecting me at all. I wouldn't say, you see, I don't think I've got a pollen allergy, because I can quite happily go up to roses or different flowers now and again and happily sniff away and not sneeze. But maybe I have, I don't know. So hopefully a warm up a little bit. It does say in many of the papers this morning, Europe is now in scorching temperatures this week as residents of France and Spain are preparing for highs of 40 degrees centigrade. It's too much. I think I start being unable to cope over sort of 32. Even 30 is a bit much. Nice temperatures is about 21, it's about 70 Fahrenheit, something like that. I can get into the 80s, 25, 26 centigrade. Once you're getting into the 90s, no, not comfortable. Not comfortable at all. 40, wow. That really would be too much. In the sun this morning, European forecasters warned that hell is coming. It's on its way. If only you'd gone to church. You know, if only you'd gone to church, then hell would... You haven't gone to hell yourself, have you? So it's coming to you. Don't think you can escape. If only you'd gone to church or synagogue or mosque or wherever you want to go. But no, you decided, no, I don't believe anything. Well, hell is coming to get you, especially if you're in France or Europe. Record-breaking heat wave expected to hit the continent tomorrow, posing a threat to life. Dreadful. And there's these maps with lots of red on there. We are yellow and orange, so not too bad here. Spain is set to sizzle in the heat as Spanish forecaster Silvia La Palana tweeted a picture of an all-red weather map captioned El Inferno. Hell is coming. Yes, not very good. If you don't like the heat, don't go to Spain. It's simple as that. I'll be all right here in my caravan. Don't worry. Sorry, here in the Lincolnshire television studio complex. I beg your pardon. Let's see who's with us today. Oh, we had a nice night last night. We did a nighttime show last night, which we did around about 10 o'clock, and had the phone line open. My mate called in, actually. That wasn't arranged. We were talking about holidays. How do you do holidays? And my mate, he does posh holidays. He does holidays on the posh. He does do holidays on the posh, and he gets like nice 5-6-star hotels and things like that. So he rang up, and then I think it was Mike was talking about when he used to go camping. I used to go camping with the Scouts. Used to love that. And I tend to do holidays on the cheap, except for the flight. I do try, if I can, to upgrade the flight. I've never had a free upgrade, never. I always have to pay the full whack. So I'll pay the money if it's a long flight. But hotels, no, 2-star is fine, 3 stars fine. I'm not a posh holiday type person. I'm not really impressed by going into a hotel and seeing a marble bath that could probably just about fit in the side of my living room here or anything like that. Doesn't impress me at all, anything like that, you know. But there we are. Good morning to Diane Jebb over on Facebook Live. Morning, Diane. First message of the day. James Dean's there. Hello, James. Hope you're well. James runs a charity. He used to work in radio. And as you know, all radio has gone a bit wrong. It's all been taken over by Z-list celebrities who are on the telly and things like that. But he did a good job there at Tameside Radio. Ray Reynolds, a very good morning to you, Ray. Morning, Ray. Mike Rees-Ponto, a very good morning to you. Adrian Richardson, nice and early today. Oh, Adam, you're on the YouTube this morning. Good morning, Adam. Adam's on YouTube. Shania has got a day off. Take it easy, Shania. Feet up, darling. Get your brother, if he's around, to to bring you food. You want a little bell next to Shania. Ding, 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 ding. And then Callum will come running out of his room. Yes, Shania. He comes with a little thing over his, a little tea towel over his wrist like that. Can I help you? Yes, could you get me a cup of coffee, please? Yes, and he can run in the kitchen and do it. I'm sure he'd do that for you, Shania. I know what brothers and sisters are like. He will... He will absolutely do that for you. Adam's on Facebook as well. You're everywhere, Adam, today. You are just like God. You are Are you God? Is God watching me today on this programme, I wonder? Hello to Michael Pollen. In Australia, he won't be shy of high temperatures there. I mean, they're used to it in Australia, aren't they? I believe every year it gets a little bit hotter. Over on YouTube, Joanna. Good morning, Joanna. Don't worry, Joanna. You haven't missed anything. I haven't sung yet. Joanna gets a little bit concerned that she's going to miss my wonderful singing. Do not worry. I haven't sung yet, Joanna. Okay? Morning to you. Hello to Claire. Good morning, Claire. I was watching this morning, breakfast time this morning, and they were doing a thing about buses and renewable energy and all that business. Did you know? Well, you do know. I didn't know that Guildford had electric buses. Anyone know that? Completely electric from the look of it. The batteries are all on the roof. Not only that, they've got a range of 200 miles. How fantastic is that? And they were on the news because they were talking about these, I don't know what you would call them actually, battery centres with all this Tesla equipment. Is it Telsa? No, that's the satellite, and it Tesla, with all these Tesla batteries that are in this power centre, and the bus depot has to have these because the grid can't supply the amount of electricity that they require because they all get charged up at the same time, i.e. at night. So they finish. Oh, don't make any noise, do they? I suppose. Oh, a silent bus. I don't know if I like that. I used to like the old Route Masters, which we still have again now. We have again now. And the noise that they used to make. Great big diesel motors. Ding, ding. As the bus would pull off or stop. So I don't know if I'd like a silent bus. Anyway, so they have these depots with big batteries in it from Tesla. And what happens during the daytime, they charge up the batteries slowly, okay? So that at night time, when all these buses plug in at the same time, they've got extra power to charge up the fleet. Otherwise, the grid wouldn't be able to cope and lights would be going out everywhere. It's very interesting. But I didn't know Guildford had electric buses. Marvellous, that's the way to go. Morning to David Bailey, good morning. Where it's grey and windy in Blackpool. Is it? I've got my windows open at the moment. The reason for that is I'm doing a campfire stew and there's lots of spices in that, in the slow cooker, which I put on last night at just after I did the show last night. I made it last night and it's got all sorts of nice stuff in it. Chopped up peppers, and there's paprika, and there's coriander, there's garlic, there's chilli, chopped up tomatoes, chopped up carrots, loads of chopped up onions. Where's something else in there? Celery, chopped up celery. And it's all bubbling away in the slow cooker. But with those spices, the entire caravan stinks. So I've got all doors and windows open at the moment. There's probably people listening to this show live outside the caravan, sitting my flowers, which I'll show you in a minute. I've got some lovely flowers outside. I did try and show you last night, but we couldn't get it going. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to show you this morning. I've been away from the caravan for 2 weeks. And I've come back and there's just so many flowers. It's beautiful out there. And it's nice to see the accumulation of all the work that I've done over the last few weeks. Getting pots together, buying earth, putting the earth in, planting the pots up. And they've grown so quickly. They've really doubled, tripled in size, some of them. Morning to Dominic. Good morning, Dominic, you lovely person. Hello, Dominic. Welcome along on the YouTube there. Tommy Flynn has certainly increased the usage of my Sabutamol in the past week. Ah, so it's not just me then. Yeah, anyone else on these things? So you see, sometimes I can go for ages and not use it. I don't use the preventer. You know, the brown preventer. I don't like the taste. It's got a horrible taste. Like, it tastes like chemicals. I should use it really, but I don't. But I don't think that... I honestly don't think, even when I was using that, I don't think it was making any difference the amount of times I used the blue one, to be honest. Is it steroids as well, isn't it, that preventer thing? Diane, look, Diane, my asthma's been playing up over the last few days. I think the high pollen count isn't helping. It must be that, mustn't it? Stuart Skinner, good morning, Stuart, who's in Germany. He had 40 degrees in the Rhineland in Germany yesterday. Sleeping is difficult. I should think it is too. So what's it at night? 30, 25, 30? Dreadful. I never forget coming out of my friend's house in Sydney in Australia a number of years ago now, and I'd been over there for dinner. And 11:30 at night, I left his house, and he lived at one end of Oxford Street, and my hotel was at the other end. He was in Surrey Hills. That's where he lived, in Sydney, Surrey Hills. And it was a bit of a walk down there and a walk down there. But I like to walk around in Australia late at night. And 11:30, and he opened his door, and this wall of heat hit me. You know, at 11:30 at night, and I looked at the weather, and it was something like 92 degrees. 11:30 at night. It's really impossible sleeping in that sort of weather. That's when you really need the air conditioner. Unfortunately, Stuart hasn't got it. He says that sleeping is difficult, haven't got air conditioning. Should be getting a few degrees cooler as the week goes on. So there we are. I know most people don't have air conditioning. I'm very lucky I do have it. I've got one of those push around units. One here in the caravan and one at my house that I bought from B&Q over the years. Some people have got those those ceiling fan things. Now, my niece has got one of those. Has got those in each room. She lives in Cyprus at the moment, and she's got one of these in each room. And my sister was saying, who's just been over there recently to visit her, that it does make a difference. One of those ceiling fans going around. You know, I didn't think they'd make that much difference because obviously, you know, it's just pushing the wind, the warm air around, isn't it? You know, you're not exactly bringing in cold air, or you've got some sort of unit to cool the air down. It's just moving it around. But my sister swears that it does actually make a difference having one of those fan things on the ceilings. I did think about getting one in the living room because I don't have the only air conditioner I've got here is in my bedroom, which is fantastic. It works quite well, except last year where it just couldn't cope last year. I mean, it managed to get the temperature down by about 10 degrees in the bedroom, but it was still like 28, 25, 28. And I thought about getting one of the fans, those turnaround fans for the centre of the living room in my caravan. But my brother-in-law, Martin, quite rightly pointed out, well, you've got a bit of a low ceiling, and you've only got to put your hand up and you have the blooming thing cut off, dear. And how will I operate my mouse and talk to you with only one hand, dear? Exactly. Dreadful. Joanna is pleased that I haven't sung yet. Don't worry, I'm going to wait in future, Joanna, until I see you watching. I'm going to wait to sing until I see you watching because I don't want you to miss out. I know it's kind of me to do that. I know that, but I never ever want you to miss out. So I can see you're there now. So at any moment now, I could burst into song, not burst literally, but burst. What a mess that would be, wouldn't it? And over my lovely picture at the back there, I could burst into song at any point. I've just realised I haven't got my little caravan lit up. I'm sorry about that, gang. We must like that. People take the time to send lovely things in. There we are. The caravan is lit up. All right. Don't forget, gang, those of you that are watching and can't use a keyboard or a computer to text, you can text the show on a phone number 07551 259 675 is the number. Maureen's just texted in. A very good morning to Maureen in London. 07551 259 675. I can't remember. Maureen, what was it, Maureen? Something to do with food. I was going to say to Maureen, and I can't remember now. Can't remember what I was going to say to you. Something about food, Maureen. I had it on my mind last night and I completely forgot to say it. Never mind, it doesn't matter anyway, it doesn't matter. Thank you for my penguins. Maureen brings in chocolate biscuits for everyone at the karaoke. And if people leave them on the table, I nick them. Don't we? We are naughty. It's me who's naughty. Good morning to the lovely Benjamin Brown. Good morning to Benjamin. Joining us this morning on the Facebook Live. Claire, we have eco-friendly buses, no horrible emissions. Yes, I saw these on the television this morning. Very good. Very good indeed. No, not even hybrid. I think they're completely electric. 200-mile range, these buses in Guildford. Good, isn't it? I think there must be other places with them as well. Adam feels like he's having a Chris phone this morning. I was about 20 minutes into last night's show on the Reardon Rewind and the new show pops up. I can't keep up with you. Well, we're going to 24-hour broadcasting soon, Adam. There will be a camera following me around at everywhere that I go. And I mean everywhere. In the toilet, in the swimming pool, in the men's changing room. Mind you, that's usually nothing to write home about. There's never any nice young lads in those changing rooms. You know, sort of around about 30, 35. No, they're all old gits like me. Nothing to look at. And they try and talk to you. Please don't talk to me. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. They've got these, the swimming pool up at Boston is a bit like that, actually. And in there, they've got these showers with, you know, the button that you push and gives you about 20 seconds of water. Oh, they're most annoying. Most annoying. But I found a way to keep the button down. So, you know, you go in there, you show your pass, because I've signed up monthly for that one now. You touch this pass on a little magnetic thing on the door, and it go clicks and it opens, and in you go, right? So you get changed, have your swim, you come out. And then you go in the shower, and I must say the showers are pretty good in there. They come out at a decent force. They do come out at a decent force, but they've got one of those buttons, you know, and it's a big one. It's a big button like that. And you push it, and then slowly it comes out. And you have to give it a good push. You know, if you had a bad wrist or you weren't very strong, you probably wouldn't be able to push the damn button. But a child wouldn't be able to push it. A child wouldn't be able to push that button. So you push this thing, and then it comes out slowly. Well, I have worked out that if you get the key, you know, you get the key that goes around your wrist, and it's like, and it's like got little bits to stop it opening up again. Put that backwards around the tap and push it in and do it up. If it's a reasonably new key and the little bits that stop it opening aren't worn out, it holds the button down. How fabulous is that? Fabulous. Marvellous. And then you can just go and do your washing and that, and the water doesn't stop. Much better. Why they do it? There was a bloke opposite me. He had some sort of metal clip. And I saw him take this clip off. I said, oh, what's that you got? Is that how you keep your button down? He said, yeah. I said, where'd you get one of those from? I'd like to have one of those. He said, oh, I make them. They're £10 each. I said, you can F off, mate. And he was laughing. Old bloke he was. I said, get off, will ya? I said, you get that from B&Q, don't you? He said, no, I make them. I said, I'll make you one, £10. I said, no, I don't want it. I just carry on putting the key round. The only thing is, if you get a key that's a bit worn out with the bits that, you know, hold it closed, then it won't hold the button. You have to have a new one. Don't be you reporting me now to Boston swimming pool, moaning that there's some bloke nicking all the water. Thank you, Benji. I do try and look smart, as you know. I mean, Benj, if we were on a date, I would dress up like this just for you. Just to let you know, in case you were thinking of asking. All right? Stuart, there you go. Look, last night it didn't go under 30 degrees at night time. Problem is it's humid as well due to the two rivers here. Oh, I know all about humidity. I've been in Cairns, up in Queensland in Australia. That is humid. Apparently not the sort of place you want to be in the summer. I was up there. I think it was. What time of the year would that have been? I think June, July sort of time, which is their sort of autumn, winter, and even then it was a bit steamy. You have to watch out for crocodiles up there. Oh yes, and snakes. On this particular resort I stayed at, which is a lovely place called Turtle Cove. It's an all-gay resort, and they've got a private beach. Oh, it's beautiful there. And there was a large, I think it was a big python or something like that, living in the tree above where we were having dinner. How mad is that? Good God. Mike, I agree with your sister. Ceiling fans do call you. I have one in my lounge. You see, that's the trouble, you know, when you put your hand up like that. Because I've done it before. The lights in the living room here are a little bit low. And I've stretched before and hit them with my hand. So perhaps a ceiling fan wouldn't be a good idea. I don't know. Good morning, Mari. Barry Manilow is going to be on ITV Good Morning Britain on Friday. Between 6:45 and 7:30. Oh, really? Oh, that's a bit early for me. Blimey, he's getting up that early? What is he promoting? He's not here on a He's not here on a concert thing, is he? What was he come over for? Just some shopping? Some of these stars, they like to come over here for shopping, don't they? Like Harrods and Selfridges and places like that. Yeah, they do come over for that. He's up early on Friday then. Oh, she's up early on Friday to watch him, are you, Mari? Good on you, love. Have you noticed his hair looks rather wild these days? I think you should go to your hairdresser. He needs a bit of a cut. There's a lot of hair on Barry Manilow. There is coming out of his nose as well if you sit close enough. Good morning, Katie Ann Patterson. Good morning, my sweetheart. I hope you're well there. Oh, what have I got there? Some bits and pieces. Right, can I just show you my garden? My pot garden outside. Here we go then. These are the pictures I tried to show you yesterday, but it didn't quite work out. So I hope this is going to work now. And here we go. They're probably the least two flowers that haven't done much. It's getting a lot of flowers, but the plant isn't really getting any bigger. I've noticed when I got here that all the pots were very, very dry. So I don't know why. I mean, we've had a bit of rain here, but, you know, I would have thought that we'd had a little bit more than that. There are. There's the pansies, which are multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. That's not moving again, isn't it? I've got 5 pictures in there, and I don't know why that's not working. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can do something. Slide mode, automatic. Well, I don't know. That's still not working, is it? That's funny. They were working earlier when I was trying it out. Oh, that's changed now. And that did change then, didn't it? There we go. Oh, they're going now. There we are. There's the foxgloves. That's the tall things. Aren't they beautiful? The bees love those. They're in and out of those. The hydrangeas, just massive. These were just green when I left 2 weeks ago. All it was green. The lilies, some of those are flowered. They're the tall things on there. There's some more little pansies there growing away. Pansies have gone mad. I deadheaded those all before I came away, and they've all come right back up. That's another lot. Right, there's another lot of photos here. Look at those hydrangeas. Amazing. I mean, I just seem to really love the fact that where they are. I'm not quite sure what the little yellow things are called there. Just bottom right hand corner is one of the orange lilies. That's all my pots there. That's all those that I've created on the side there. Right at the front there is some tomato plants, okay? And then looking from the side, I've got some in that corner there. So as you can see, the caravan is quite old there. Look at that. Aren't they lovely? And they do last quite a long time. They can grow ever so tall, those things, foxgloves. And we're back to that again. The pink hydrangeas. I think I've got one more to show you down here somewhere. There we are, white. So I've got pink hydrangeas and white hydrangeas as well. And they're all my plants. All right. Aren't they pretty? Claire says it looks beautiful. I'm gradually becoming more of a gardener as I get older. Oh yeah, me too. Actually, I've always been a gardener. When I was 14 years old, we lived in a flat in Roehampton. I say a flat, a masonette in Roehampton. So it was ground level and upper level. So kitchen, living room, toilet, ground, up some stairs, and then there was 3 bedrooms and a bathroom. But there was one house on top of the other, so they were like masonettes. And we had a balcony out the front. And I used to grow tomato plants out there. Loads of them. The whole length of the balcony would be full of little plants growing there, and quite successful as well. And then I got a flat in Wandsworth. Well, I didn't have anywhere at all to put plants there. And I kind of took over the communal bit, which was just out the back. I was on the first floor, but I used to go down. And if it was dry, I'd go and water the garden downstairs, hose out the window and everything. Yes. And then when I got my house in Bracknell in 1992, that's when I moved there. I had a garden, and I do like to do a lot of gardening. I'm not a professional by any sort at all. I'm an amateur gardener, but I've got an idea in my head. I don't really like everything perfect. You know, when you go and you know, you go to these stately homes, and it's just stunning. You know, look, he's got perfectly round circles with flower beds and beautiful roses. I like it a bit wild. I do cut the lawn at home, but I like things to grow naturally, and perhaps not cut them back too much until they're getting in the way, perhaps, of the satellite dish or something like. I've lost satellite signal before due to tall plants. When they come up between the plant and the between the satellite and the satellite dish, I've lost satellite signal before. Let's have a look. Katie likes the flowers. Thank you, Katie. Maria's just had to tie up her foxgloves. They droop. I wonder if they're not planted deep enough, Mari. I've never had foxgloves droop, to be honest. Although the rain might have done those in, mightn't it? I mean, in front of me, there's a big field. They're growing barley at the moment. And I noticed when it's rained, they're all like, everything's down. And I remember seeing on the telly, they were talking to farmers the other day about how different things affect them, and the weather is a big thing that affects them. And if it rains too much, they just can't harvest the stuff because the rain, they all fall down, and the machine that cuts it all and sucks it all up onto the machine, it doesn't work very well, which is one of those things, isn't it? Good. So last night, as I say, we did a show last night. I've got at the moment my campfire stew. The whole place is full of spices. That's why I've got the front doors open. Karaoke was good on Monday night, I must say. Very nice indeed. Full of regulars. We tend to get full of regulars on a Monday. Lovely regulars who are there week in, week out. And on Friday, we get some regulars and a lot of, shall we say, weekend customers who are generally quite young and up for a good sing-song. And it works for the two kind of complement each other nicely. Both nights are quite different. They really are. So that was nice. Maureen was there, as I say, giving out penguins to everyone. And that was nice. My mate had gone to get me some blueberries earlier in the day because I didn't have time to go out to the supermarket. And he was coming around and said, can you pick up some blueberries for us? So he picked up the blueberries, brought them around my house. And to bring up here, I had a little carrier bag, and I had 2 lots of blueberries in there and a couple of Quorn steaks. So I got to work Monday, and one of the first, and this happens every single time this happens. So I get my little bag and I put them in the fridge at work. And you know what happens, don't you? I completely forget about them. Funnily enough, I remembered them at about 10:30, and on a Monday night I finished just before 11. And I thought, no, I'll leave it another 20 minutes to keep them in the cool. And it was that 20 minutes that cost me the blueberries and the Quorn steaks, because I then left and I'm halfway down the road. Oh, I've forgotten my stuff again. I don't think there's a single time where I've remembered to get my blueberries and whatever it is in the fridge to take them up here with us. So I came up blueberry-less. Blueberry-less. That's me, blueberry-less. The M11 journey, it took me on the M11 up here on Monday night. So I've got various different routes that the sat-nav will take me, depending on road closures. So clearly the A1M, coming all the way from London, right the way up here, was closed at some point. So it took me up on the M11. Now, getting to the M11 is more difficult than getting to the A1M, because you go through an awful lot of traffic lights. East London, Dalston, E5, all that area there. But once you get onto the M11, it's a long, straight run with no lights and, more importantly, no cameras. There's very few cameras along that M11, which actually that doesn't really affect me because I don't do speeding. But nevertheless, I always feel a bit funny when I see a camera, whether I'm speeding or not, which honestly, I don't speed. I very, very rarely speed. If I do, then it's because I've taken my concentration off the speedometer and I'm happily going along. You know what the new cars are like? They're so quiet. They're so quiet. They don't make a noise at all, especially the electric ones. I mean, there'll be a lot more speeding, I think, when we get electric cars. I really do believe that, because we don't know that it doesn't feel like you're doing the speed. So straight up the M11, and it says on the sat nav, stay on M11 for, I don't know, 30 odd miles, and then you get another one, stay on M11 for 24 miles. And by the time you've done that, you're halfway there. And it's quite a nice, easy run once you're on that M11, and then that joins up with the A1M further up. And by then, you're well on your way. You're well on your way. So that was it. I done the light switch in the bathroom. Did I tell you that yesterday? That's all fixed. One of those pull switches, which failed. Put a new one up. No problem at all. I was going to just turn off that circuit, but I thought, no, I'll play safe and turned off the whole electricity to the caravan, because it was only off for 15 minutes. And it was a very easy thing to do. And that's it, really. That's all my news. I told you last night, just in case you weren't here last night, I'm going up to Cleethorpes on Thursday, which is about an hour away. There's a brand new bar up there called Silhouettes, which opened on Saturday, and I've seen the adverts, and I looked at them up and I thought, well, that's not too far away from me. I wonder if they'd be interested in a karaoke night. So I contacted the chap. His name's Lee, and I'm going up to meet him on Thursday just to see if, you know, there's any interest. He does sound quite interested, but, you know, I have to go to a place and I think, yeah, I think this will work here. Or if I don't think it'll work, I won't take the job. And him as well, you know, he has to think to himself, yeah, this might be a goer, let's give it a go. So I'm going up to Cleethorpes on Thursday night this week. Fortunately, I've got a friend up there as well called Adam. Sorry, not Adam, Danny. So I'll visit him first. And he suggested that we go on Cleethorpes Pier to have fish and chips first. Well, I won't be having fish. We do not eat dead animals, dear. I'm sorry. No dead animals for me. And that's it. So I'm looking forward to that. Mike says, how much do you drive using the electric motor in your car? Oh, okay. Well, if to drive electric only in my RAV4 is only a couple of miles before it starts to charge again. It's a small battery in there, but that battery gives me a lot of miles per gallon, much more than if it was just a petrol engine. For example, if I drive carefully from Bracknell to King's Cross, I've had 80 miles a gallon out of that. Coming up here, I get about much lower, about 40-45 miles to the gallon, because I'm not doing 50 mile an hour. I'm doing 70 mile an hour coming up here, so you lose that. I mean, I could slow down to 50. You want to get here at, you know, once you left work about 10 past 11 on a Monday night, I'm not in the mood for going slowly. Okay, so once I'm out of London, I get to 70, and I just switch on the radar cruise control, and up we go. Actually, the road was quite busy on Monday. I thought the M11 was fairly busy on Monday. Oh, that would be because everyone can't use the A1M, I suppose. There's more cars coming on there. But coming from Bracknell to King's Cross, okay, that's where I will do 50 mile an hour on the motorway in the inside lane, and the other roads until we get to London, when we're down to 30 and 20 in some places. There, I've had 81 miles to the gallon coming up there. Yeah. Coming down from Lincolnshire to King's Cross, I get about 55 to 58 miles a gallon. Again, I'm driving 50-55 mile an hour. Sometimes I increase the speed if it looks like we're running out of time. But I do leave an extra hour on top of the time that it says it will take. So usually it says something like 2.5 hours. Okay, I give it 3.5. That 2.5 hours generally turns into 3 hours and 15 minutes anyway, because traffic builds up. I leave here at 4 o'clock. Well, at 4 o'clock, there's probably not as much traffic as there is. Once you get to 5 o'clock, it's all coming out of offices at various different places along the route, isn't it? So that's how it goes there. Right, let's do some news stories today. Now, I was talking about the rechargeable buses that they have in Guildford, the electric buses in Guildford. I'm on this site called Quora, Quora. Some of you may be on this site, and it's a site where if you've got a question about anything at all, you just ask it on this site, okay? You might want to write that down. Once again, it's Quora.com, Quora.com, right? And one of the, and I get this email every day, and it lists questions that people have asked and they want to know the answers. And there's some really interesting stuff on there. And on the same subject as the electric buses that we talked about earlier, so you think, and you've mentioned electric cars, and it's funny you should mention that, because this is the question that it came to me this morning. And the question was, how many Tesla cars already need battery replacements? Interesting. The answer by someone who works at Tesla as an intern says the current battery in a Tesla is built to last at least 500,000 miles. That's 800,000 kilometres. That's a fair old distance. That's 500,000, isn't it? 500,000 miles. That's the battery that should last in a Tesla before it needs to be replaced. Currently, most batteries look like they will last a lot longer than this. And then there's a little graph there. And it says there, hopefully you can see on the graph that even after 200,000 kilometres of driving, the battery has only degraded up to 6%. The trend then levels out, which makes it seem that you would have to drive for many times that distance to lose another few percent of the charge. Tesla, I always confuse that. Tesla CEO Elon Musk, very clever man, says that the company has simulated over 500,000 miles on it, and it will still be operating at 80% of its original capacity. That's about 40 years worth of driving for the average driver. Now, I don't know if it's the same for other electric cars like the Leaf. I don't know if they have their own battery or they use the Tesla ones. I don't know. It also says, plus, they also have battery swap guarantee, which, if your battery degrades by more than 20% in 8 years, they'll replace it. This is Tesla. And Tesla cars have become more affordable. You do have the expensive ones, of course, the Model X and the Model S, I think £80,000 plus, I think, for those. But they have a Model 3 now, which is about 30 grand. Which, if you're going to buy a new car, is probably comparable to the price of a mid-range, I don't know, a mid-range Ford or a Toyota, perhaps. It says the battery... oh, that's... Have I read that? Oh, no, 1 minute. I've gone forward there. The battery... here we are. The battery in Tesla cars will last a very long time before you need to replace it. If you drive over 800,000 kilometres, you might notice significant loss of up to 20%. But 20%, that's not much, is it? You think about that. That's not much. So if your car does 100 miles on a charge, it will still do 80. That's pretty good, isn't it? But even then, you can just get a new one installed for around $10,000, and then you're good for another 40 years of driving. So that's the answer to that, and that's a very, very good site to be on. Okay, Quora, Quora.com. There's various other different questions here. I think a lot of them for America. If you're into airlines, there's one here. Now, this is a question. This is a good question as well. There are all sorts of questions. Anyone can ask. If you've got a question about anything, just ask it. Now, I recently saw a story on the news about the aircraft. You know, the A380. They're stopping making the A380s, aren't they? Because simply they're not selling them. And someone wrote to Quora, how is Emirates? I think they were the first people to buy the A380s. They're the massive super jumbo planes. How is Emirates able to make a profit by continuing to fly the Airbus A380 when all other airlines have discontinued its use due to higher fuel consumption? Now, I find that interesting as well. I always thought that A380 was pretty good on fuel because it's one of the newer airlines, much newer than the Boeing 777s or the jumbo jet, but not according to this. Anyway, so someone's answered. Good question. The short answer is that Emirates saw an opportunity and created a preliminary operations plan and ordered a bunch of A380s. I'm sure they were the first people to buy them. Then, while the planes were being built, they finalised their operations plan with city pairs, number of flights per day and other factors into a situation where they could fulfil a customer using a fleet of A380s carrying 500 passengers on those each and keep their cost per seat mile low enough to make good money. They continue to use them because they're still providing a low enough cost seat per mile. There are a few other airlines still using A380s. British Airways have got a couple, where presumably they are still making money. Below is more discussion about the cost per seat, and it goes on to tell you how airlines cost seats and all that. But do have a look at that, boys and girls. It's really interesting. I signed up and I get like an email every day with various different bits and pieces on there, with different questions that people have asked and that sort of thing. All right. Aren't you quiet this morning? There's not many messages at all. It's very unusual for you to be very quiet this morning. You must be enjoying what I'm chatting about. Is that right? Now, how do you want to make some money? Honest Chris is going to help you make some money now. We'll do this story and then we'll do the birthdays this morning, okay? Mystery mime artist. This is in this morning's Metro. Dressed head to toe in a checkered morph suit, there is little evidence to help identify who this man is. And literally he's got like head to toe, face as well, covered like, oh, what do you call it now? You know the Men in Blue? I think it's a film or something like that, and they're covered in like this material, blue, all over their face, so you can't see facial features. Well, that's how this bloke looks, except it's a checked suit, you know, black and white squares from top all the way down to bottom, like an all-in-one suit. Well, this man turned up at a village fete. He has caused something of a stir after turning up at a village fete. This, if you want to make money, you can do this, okay? Yeah, you can try this one, Mike, your village fete, if you have one. It's caused something of a stir after turning up at a village fete and getting people to guess who he was for £1 before running off with the money. Now villagers in Wollaston in the Forest of Dean have asked the man to come forward before they get in touch with the police. Well, what are they going to do? How are they going to know who it is? Not going to know who it is. He communicated only through mime. And so, you know how they do the mime thing, don't they? I mean, the show might be a lot better if I mime. I think Joanna would quite like me to mime, wouldn't you, Joanna? Would you? Joanna, would you rather me mime the happy birthday? Is that an improvement? Can you hear those planes going over today? The RAF, we've got an RAF base close by here, and they're always doing their practicing and all that literally right over my caravan. Which I quite like it. I like it. You see, those planes that fly over are amazing. Makes you proud to sit here and think, wow, I'm part of the country that owns these planes. You know, perhaps they don't. I think Theresa May got those on tick, didn't she? The latest lot of RAF planes. How much per month? Can you get them out of a catalogue? Who runs a catalogue? Joanna thinks it would be wonderful if I mime the happy birthdays. No! Be careful, I'll sing a whole song if you're not careful. Do you remember how we used to be? Barry Manilow and Stay. Would you like that one sung today? So this bloke communicated only through mime, and some villagers think they know who he is but are staying tight-lipped to prevent a witch hunt. A witch hunt. He turned up at Wollaston Carnival and handed out entry forms that said, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Wollaston's Mystery Man. The winner would receive £100 cash if they got his identity correct, and most people assumed he was a local resident raising money for the Hall Fund. He even had the audacity to pose for selfies, and there he is like that. You got to guess who it is. The last known sighting appears to be of him melting away down a public footpath with a deck chair under one arm and an old music bag or briefcase under the other. After failing to return, Sue and husband Tony, chairman of the committee. Oh, you know what sort of people they are, don't you? What do you? Oh, I'm chairman of the committee of the council. Oh, right, okay, mate. Oh, have you met chair people of committee, women or men? How important are they? Oh, yes, I'm chairman of the committee. Can I just take your name, please? Yeah, get off, mate. I've no time for these people who invent themselves in self-important posts. Dear me. Chairman of committee. Have you ever been a member of a committee? They can't get anything done. They just sit there rowing, a bit like the MPs at the moment. All they do is go in a room and they row and they moan, and at the end of it, they usually all vote themselves a significant increase in their wages. A little bit like councillors. Yeah, a little bit like councillors. They sit there and they moan and they row, and then they're all happy at the end because they vote themselves another 10% raise. Disgusting way to carry on. Pigs' heads in the trough. That's what they are. Anyway, this Sue and husband Tony, chairman of the committee, put an appeal on Facebook for him to reveal himself. The mystery deepened when deeper. The mystery deepened when organisers then received an email from Wollaston Carnival mystery man offering to transfer £100 to them. They declined, instead offering for him a chance to hand over the cash. Why? Why should they hand over the cash? Oh, what, all of it, instead of just the prize? Yeah, well, if he did say he was raising money, didn't he, for a charity, did he? It is thought he made several £100s before fleeing with the proceeds, sparking a midsummer murder-style investigation. They want that woman on there. What's her name? Angela Lansbury. Mrs. Oh, Angela Lansbury. What's the character name? Not Mrs. Doubtfire. That was Robin Williams. Oh, God. Oh, someone tell me who it was. Angela Lansbury. What's the mystery? The detective Angela Lansbury played. Villagers still don't know if they've been duped, or are victims of a bad joke by the man who hid his face and communicated with everyone only by mime. Like that. By mime. Oh, come on. Angela Lansbury. Who's the detective she plays? Cardinal coordinator Andy Morgan Watts, who led the parade in a vintage car dressed as a ringmaster, said he just appeared. Everyone was applauding him because it seemed such a clever way of raising money, but then he disappeared with all the money and didn't even get the prize. And he's got his picture here taken with various members of the public. How funny is that? So there you go. If you want to make a little bit of money, that's what you got to do. Dress up in one of those all-in-one things and go around to village fetes saying, go on, guess my identity. It's £1 each, please. And do it like that. No one's told me who Angela Lansbury is. Hang on. And Mrs. Fletcher? Is it Mrs. Fletcher? Lansbury detective name. Let's see if I can find this. Angela Lansbury. No, not Mrs. Marple. Is it? No, I don't think it's Mrs. Marple. I think it's Fletcher Stewart, yeah. Not Mrs. Marple Clare. Oh, you know that thing. Jessica Fletcher, there we go. Jessica Fletcher. Jessica Fletcher. Yeah, that's great. I haven't seen many of those, funnily enough. But it's a detective that she played, and it's funny. She was always at the scene of the crime, and they'd all be saying, "Oh, who do you think it is, Jessica?" No one in their mind kind of put the two and two together. The fact that she seems to be at every single murder, and yet no one ever suspects her of doing it. Murder, She Wrote. That's the one, Mike. No one ever suspected her, did they? How funny is that? So there we are. Okie doke, gang. Right, let's see what else he's got here. No, I'll leave those. What's the time? Oh, one more story then. Daily Mirror. Daily Mirror. Pink. Do you like the artist Pink? Very talented. Well, a Pink fan was shocked after she went into labour just moments before the singer's first song at her Anfield gig. So this woman, she's gone to this concert, fully pregnant, she's gone into labour while she's there. Now, I must say, that did worry me once a couple of years ago. I'll come to that in a minute. Denise Jones was almost 37 weeks pregnant when she arrived at Tuesday's concerts. But after going into labour, the 32-year-old was whisked away, doing the opening track of Get the Party Started. Here we go, Joanna. Oh, da-da-da, and I gotta get the party started. Shirley Bassey, da-da-da-da-da-da, on the Saturday night. That one. Shirley Bassey did that one as well. I love it. My favourite rendition of that was when... Now, what's his name? Some bloke on the X Factor. This is about 8 years ago now. He was blonde as Camp as Christmas from Wow's. Can't remember his name, but he did that on the X Factor, and he was really... Ridian. That's it, Ridian. He did it on the X Factor, and he was really good at it. Hilarious, actually. Really good. He'd come on in this white fake fur coat. Fantastic. Anyway, the new mum ended up giving birth just 4 minutes after Pink took to the stage. Paramedics were astounded just how quickly Denise from Highton gave birth to the little girl, who has now been given the most fitting name, Dolly Pink. Dolly Pink. Oh, come on. How can you call a little girl a name like that? Dolly Pink. There's some very strange names people are giving to their children without any thought of how that child's going to go through school. Honestly. Well, I bet she'll have the mick taken her out of school for that one. Well done, parents. Dear me. How can you give your child an unusual name like... It's like people keep spelling the names different. How many different ways are there to spell Stephen now? Why do parents seem to think, well, we'll give them that name, but we'll change that letter to a P instead of a T? And things like that. Oh, I don't know about Dolly Pink. Hello, Dolly, Papa, hello. It's so nice to have you back where you belong. Ba 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 ba. How many verses do you want, Joanna? 5, 6? Speaking from the bed at Liverpool Women's Hospital, Denise jokingly said, I'm still in massive shock. Just a bit gutted I missed the concert. Did you get your money back? Oh, come on, give her another name. Dolly Louise? What sort of name is that? So they just want to stand out all the time. People want to stand out all the time. That's what all that's about, I think. And some of the names that children are given these days because they want to be unusual, I don't think it does the child any favours, to be honest. But there you are, you know, it's their choice, I suppose. Hello to Joseph McDonald. Good morning, Joe. Hope you had a nice birthday the other day. I did wish you a happy birthday. He's still in Spain. Been here for 7 weeks now. It's going to be very hot where you are, Joseph. I don't know how you're going to cope with that, mate. Cold, yeah, very, very hot. Right, today's birthdays then. 35 years old. Happy birthday today to Paul Isaac Roberts. 35 years old today. Good morning, Paul. Happy birthday. Carole Lynch is 62 years old. Good morning, Carole. Khalid Hidra. Good morning. Young, 29 years old today. Good morning, Khalid. Paul Teasdale Murray, it's his birthday today. Ben LB Jameson. Good morning, Ben. 41 today is Ben. Jordan Williams. Good morning, Jordan. On a tube train, 28 years old today. Joy Smith today is 44. Rich B, who is a professional DJ, I worked with a couple of times in the past. It's his birthday today. I notice you've removed your age now, Rich. Oh, come on, be proud of your age, darling. I'm 56, don't bother me. How old are you? 56? Oh, you don't look 56, they say. I do look 56. Happy birthday, Rich. Callum. Good morning to Callum. I didn't know it was your birthday today. Shania kept that quiet. I didn't read the list before I came up. But 19 today. Happy birthday to Callum. He's Shania's brother, which is a shame, really, Callum, because, you know, I've already mentioned today that today, as Shania is on holiday from work, you've got to be her servant today. You've got to be Shania's servant. When you hear the little bell, you're to come running with a little tea towel over your arm. Yes, anything I can get you, Shania. And she's just to sit there and do nothing all day. And Joshua Halliwell Smith today is 43 years old. So happy birthday to you, boys and girls. Here we go. Just for Shania, a little bit of singing. Not Shania, Joanna. Here we go. Oh, it won't play. The music won't play. Why won't that play? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everyone. All right. Ian says the singing is sending my dogs crazy. Good evening to JP joining us at the end of the show there. Looking at caravans in Oxford along the Thames. £8,000. £8,000. 2,400 a year, 7 months a year. £8,000 for a caravan is pretty good. 2,400 a year ground rent for just 7 months. That sounds a bit pricey to me. So you can only use that 7 months of the year. I don't know. The thing is, Oxford along the Thames, you'll be paying a premium for being there. So if they're charging that, then people are willing to pay it. Maybe that's just what it is down there, John. Is it? I think you're looking at being quite close to the airport, are you? Try the south coast. Have a look down the south coast. You might be better off down the south coast. There's some sites along in Sussex and all that way. Type in static caravan site Sussex. Perhaps you might find something there. That does sound quite a lot for a short time. Only 7 months. Some are £5,000. Oh, what? You mean the ground rent? Some of them are £5,000. I did say that, didn't I? My ground rent here is only £1,400 a year. I think we do really well here. Really well for price. But then again, we're not near London, you see. That's the thing. You can go up into other places and find even less ground rent than here, but you will really be out of it in the sticks, and it's going to take you some time to travel there, I'm afraid. It's Shania's mum's birthday as well, is it? Well, what's her name, Shania? Elaine. Elaine, I'll tell you what. I'll do Elaine as a separate entity. So she gets her own birthday today. Twice, dear. This is just for Elaine. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Elaine. Happy birthday to you. All right, Elaine. There we are. Is Elaine on the Isle of Wight or is she on the mainland as a matter of interest? Or where she is. It's £2,400 a month. Some vans are £5,000. Okay. Well, it don't sound too bad for me for the price of a caravan. You probably won't have central heating for that, but I don't know if you're going to be over there in the winter. I don't have central heating here. I've got a couple of electric fan heaters, and I've got 2 gas fires, one that's installed in the caravan, and one of those mobile gas fires, and that was all right. I've been through the winter, and it was okay. It was okay. You just need to know that you've got to turn the fire on, you know. But you'll see how you go with that. Keep looking. Keep looking. That's it for the show today. Thanks ever so much for joining us, boys and girls. A wonderful pleasure to talk to you again. Hopefully, I'll see you again at some time tomorrow. Have a lovely Wednesday. I'm going swimming now. Cheerio.